If you're spending over $3,000 a month on ads, I'm going to teach you one of the structures you can do to massively boost your ROAS. Now, look, this training's for someone who already has a set offer. Look, there's hundreds of different funnels you can run, whether it's like a straight booking funnel, one-step funnel, two-step funnel, lead magnet funnel. Okay, but you already want to have your offer set. So you know what you're kind of already selling. Your business is doing anywhere between $30 and $500,000 a month already. Now, what I'm going to cover is a few systems that have worked really well for me to help business owners like yourself close over $50 million in sales. Now, our clients who do this really well at the moment are doing anywhere between $100,000 a month and $500,000 a month, with predominantly most of their leads, about 80% of their leads coming from Facebook ads, and that would be Facebook and Instagram combined, as you guys know. Look, my promise for you today is if you take notes and if you take a little bit of action off this, it's going to massively boost the ROAS that you have on your ads, especially, as you start to spend $3,000 a month on ads. One of the things that, I work with people is, look, how do we go from 3,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 12,000, 12,000 to $24,000 a month? And this like concept of being able to rotate through different creatives, have different hooks, have different types of images is really, really important as you scale your budgets because you have to test a lot more different creatives as your budgets do increase. Now, look, generally, guys, video creatives do get better quality leads at the moment. Now, one of the big caveats is, though, it's not like you always have to run video ads because if you're doing video ads, it has to be really well structured. It's not just like shooting a random video off the cuff. It needs to be scripted. It needs to be like read out word for word, a bit like in a movie, right? So they won't read out like full, monologues. They'll read, two sentences, pause, two sentences again. They'll do each sentence like 10 times to make sure it's perfect. And obviously it's cut at a really, really high level. Okay. Doesn't say images don't work, but always need to test and measure. There's definitely some image creatives called ugly ads at the moment. You would have seen heaps of them around, which is just a like straight background with wording on them that do work quite well. You've got the professional images. If you guys go to the big accounts, like say Grant Cardone, who's spending like $1 million a week, you'll see how many different kind of creatives they're testing at scale. Now, look, when we're kind of testing different creatives, let's say a businesses spending $1,000 a day on their ads. Now, depending what their cost per lead target is, or their cost per booking target, or cost per opt-in, whatever kind of funnel that they're running, is generally what we will do is say at $1,000 a day. Is say if their cost per booking target is $200, for example. So what we'll do is set up 5 different ad sets, okay? And in each ad set, there's only one different creative in there that's running. We don't like testing like multiple different creatives. So in one ad set, we're not going to put 5 different creatives in there because you just don't get data quick enough. We want to be able to like scale what's working and kill what's not working really, really quickly. And so in that case, we would have 5 different ad sets spending 200 a day on each. And then what we're going to do is let it spend double the cost per lead or cost per booking target. So look, in this example, if cost per booking is $200, that's our target. We'll let that ad spend $400 regardless, okay? And then we'll start to optimize. If we need, test different creatives, or we'll start to scale what's working, obviously kill what's not working. Because as you start to scale bigger budgets and as you get more advanced in business and definitely more advanced in Facebook ads, okay, is you don't want to kill ads too early. What rookies do who are like, under 30K a month, under 50K a month, they'll just kill ads really, really quickly. And that's what we don't want to do, okay? Because once the algorithm starts to work, is you'll find that sometimes ads like turn around like really, really quickly. Okay, now when we're talking about this, we're going to talk about like today is like testing a lot of different images, a lot of different videos within your ads. And what we want to do is make sure that we're batching this. So, at like the bigger scale, we've got, some clients like spending well over like $1,000 a day, like easily, right? For example, now they're batching all their video creatives, okay, in one day, either every 2 weeks or every month, depending, what they're spending. But say if we have a shooting day, they'll get like a professional filmer and stuff like that. So everything looks really sleek. Now, what they'll actually do is spend 1 or 2 days writing their scripts. So we'll kind of give them scripts. We'll look at like the previous data that worked well. Okay. And then we'll write their video scripts up. Okay, so that then they can film them. Okay, they've got enough for the next like 30 days or 2 weeks, like depending again on the budgets and the timing. All right, and then we're going to go get them edited, and then we have the next month going through. Then about 3 weeks later, you're able to have a look at the data, okay, of what's working well. Okay, do a few different variations of what is working. We can do different editing cuts, have B-roll, have no B-roll, different things like that. Okay, and then you also want to, like what I say to the guys, like get in the lab. So with my clients, I'm on, Facebook and Instagram. So I'm saving heaps of ads. I'm looking over really big accounts. I have mentors who tell me what's working and stuff like that. Okay, but also as well, there's a app that you can, it's called a Google Chrome extension that you can add on. It's called Ads Library. I'm not sure how much it costs, but I don't believe it's free. But it's definitely not like heaps of money. I don't really think about it. But what you're able to do in that is you're able to save ads. So, when you're on your computer, you can save ads on Instagram and you can save ads on Facebook as well. So look, depending your habits on this, but what you're really looking is what is going to stop the scroll. Okay, so you'll see like different ads to what I see. Okay, and what you want to do is have a look over. I'm in a habit of just doing it every day. If I see a really good ad, I'm predominantly on social media on my laptop though. I don't have any social media on my phone. And then you're going to save those different ads, those different images, those different videos. So then you can get those transcribed out, say in the videos, and then we can change the hook, change the content to be able to suit your business. Okay, but definitely like as you scale from 3K to 6, I know a lot of you guys might be spending 10, 20K a month already. As you start to spend bigger budgets, there's definitely different types of ads that you'll run at times, but the big thing that usually holds people back is not being able to rotate through enough creatives and not having enough time or even understanding that as you start to spend bigger budgets, okay, obviously, things are happening a lot faster, really beneficial because you're making more money, you know what's happening in your ads, you've got a good sales team, all that stuff's already done within your business, but you definitely need to have the ability and have the knowledge to be able to rotate through different creatives. And look, I know a lot of you guys would be getting advice off, someone like myself, or you'd have someone in your corner who's helping you. Okay, but you want to be a part of this process as well. You can't just like hand off your marketing or business and not have any kind of say in what's happening, because if you do that and say the agency shuts down or whatever that might be, or whoever you're working with, is you don't have any knowledge of how to pick it up. And as your business starts to, hit 60K, 100K, 150, $200,000, a lot of the conversations that I do have with people, especially if we're running their ads, is going, look, there's going to be a time where you probably want to bring this like internal and in-house. And my preferred way to do this is you'd bring your marketing in-house, and you could have, VAs, you could have video editors, things like that, who are doing the basic work. And then you can have a mentor who can look over your ads weekly, fortnightly, monthly, okay, to help you optimize them. So then your internal team is doing everything really quickly, really rapidly. You're not going to have to send messages. You can have meetings with the marketing team and the sales team together, because sales teams generally go, we want higher quality leads, and the marketing team's trying to get lower cost per lead or cost per booking. So you want to have those communicating together. And that's really like some of the really, really key things that we need to do in your businesses to be able to double, triple, 10x your ad spend, okay, so that you can scale and so that you can scale to massive levels. So guys, I hope you got a little bit of value on today's training. Look, all the trainings that I cover, how to spend maximum amounts of money on ads, how to do that profitably, how to scale your business to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a month. So hopefully you guys got a little bit of value, and I'll definitely see you on the next training.